Namaste. I'm going to do a very gentle class. This is going to be a mix of extra gentle, gentle, and restorative. This is going to be a fairly quiet class. I don't want to talk excessively because I want us to be able to rest and renew and create some restoration for our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. We're not going to hold it as long as restorative. True restorative, you want to hold either 10 to 20 minutes a piece, because scientifically that allows us to really drop into those brain waves that allow us to take deep rest. But you're still going to get lots of benefits here. Our intention is to shift towards the parasympathetic nervous system, where we're not feeling stressed or worried, tense or tight, aggravated or moody. We're just going to be kind of even keel. So that's what we're going to do for today's practice. If you happen to have props at home, you can use 2 blocks and a bolster to start with. We're just going to send the legs up. If you don't have this, just send legs up the wall. If you already are familiar with that pose, another thing that you can do is find a chair and just send your calves up to the chair. So I'm going to scoot up fairly close to it because I want the back of my thighs supported by the bolster. It's okay for the feet to dangle off, as you can see I'm doing. And I'm going to choose to place the hands to the belly, but you can really place your hands anywhere. As you close your eyes, just settle in. And even though I'm not playing music for obvious reasons, copyright reasons, you can play music at home. I would suggest light music, world music, yoga music, chanting, something instrumental, something that's going to be very calming. Feel the movements beneath your hands as you breathe. Notice the natural tendency for the belly to balloon out as we breathe in, and how it falls and deflates back in as we breathe out. Now try to micromanage your breath by controlling it and deepening it so that you're less apt to have a monkey mind, a hyperactive mind that's like a monkey jumping from limb to limb, or us jumping from one thought or feeling to the next. Paying attention as you slow down your breathing, and as you slow down the wheels of the mind, you might actually start to tap into some of that sensation that percolates through the toes and the feet. Know that this inversion is good for our blood flow, our circulation, draining the lymphatic fluid in the legs. Think about how often through the day we sit and walk and move around. And this is a time where we can be in some stillness. Let go of the doing and come into a state of being. next in-breath, stretch the arms overhead. And as you exhale, draw the left knee in towards your belly and chest. Inhale, stretch the leg and the arms out. And then exhale, draw in with your right knee. Inhale, arms overhead, right leg extends back to the bolster or wall or chair. Exhale, hug the left knee in. One more, inhale, arms stretch out. Exhale, right knee draws in. And then when you're ready, take a hold of both knees. Bring the left foot back to tap down on the bolster. Lift your right, and you can also set your left foot to the floor, but your right foot's going to float up. You can take a hold of the foot or the shin or even your leggings, and you can draw down on the leg and foot. So it's a half happy baby. Moving from the legs on up into the hips. And then gently release. Take the left foot up in the air. Grab a hold of the shin, your leggings, the foot. You don't have to force this. I mean, even just taking a hold of it and drawing it down is enough. It's plenty. So don't feel like you have to use all your arm muscle strength. This doesn't have to be too intense. And then gently release. When you release, turn over to one side of your body and casually come up to take a seat. Now, you can do this one of two ways. So say, for instance, you have a bolster at home. You can slide the bolster up underneath your thighs, bring the feet to the other side, and then splay the knees apart. This could be your reclined or more restorative type of butterfly. If you only have blocks at home, or maybe you don't have any props at home, you can use toss pillows or folded blankets to go up underneath the thighs and the knees like this. So choose one or the other. I'm just going to stay here. Close your eyes. And let's move back into a quiet space. And you can still move to a quiet space internally, even if music is playing in the background. Because that music can create a mood, a vibe. You may hear a few of the noises from the restaurant next door. You may be even listening to your own breath. Soften the muscles of the face, especially the crease between the eyes, the furrow of the brow. Relax your jaw, your cheeks, the interior and exterior of your mouth. next inhale, let's slowly flutter the knees back up in the air, flatten the soles of the feet to the floor. Move the blocks or bolster out of the way. And draw the knees in towards your upper body. And again, your feet can actually stay on the floor. You don't actually have to draw the knees in, but we're going to move into a supine twist. So if you open your arms out shoulder height and allow the knees to rock over to the left. You can keep the head centered and neutral, or you can roll it to the right. Now this should feel like a fairly easeful twist. But if it doesn't, if it's putting some strain in your low back, maybe try putting a block or bolster underneath your knees for a little additional support. And if your shoulder is hovering above the floor, you may want a toss pillow or blanket to go below. So we're moving the concentration of the twist into the region of the belly and the lower portion of the back, even though you're probably going to feel it elsewhere as well. One last breath. On your next inhale, rotate the chin in line with your chest, grip in your belly, draw the knees to center, and then as you exhale, let them roll over to the right. Again, if you need a prop in between your knees, a bolster, a block, toss pillow, can go beneath. Your head can stay neutral or it can rotate to the left to close the eyes. On your next inhale, go ahead and remove any props that you were using away from the legs. Go ahead and rotate back to center. Flatten the soles of the feet to the floor, and we're going to press down through the feet to tuck the tailbone under to ignite the glutes, to ignite the hamstrings, to rise up like a two-legged table, Dvipadam Pitam, or you can roll open even more into it, like I said, Uttanasana bridge. So this is more of the two-legged table. My whole upper back is spread out, so there's not as much traction happening with my neck. So because there's not as much traction through the neck, it's fairly safe to roll from side to side. If you're higher in bridge, you do not want to turn your head. Now you can choose either a bolster, maybe that's what you have, to go underneath and you can just sit down upon it. I'm going to choose a block instead. And remember, the block can turn different heights. It can be on its low, it can be on its medium, or you can even set it up taller on the third height. So obviously this is taking me more towards bridge, so I'm not going to turn my head now. And even though I can do this and it feels pretty good, I want it to feel really good because, like I said, I wanted this to be extra gentle or slightly more restorative. So I'm going to turn it down on the medium height because that gives me that sense of, oh, now I can settle in and relax a little bit better. You're welcome to stay passive here. You don't have to continue to pressurize the feet. You can even flip the palms open and just enjoy. So we've been kind of moving up the ladder or the chain of the chakras. You know, we started with legs up, we moved into some hip work, We did the twist that really concentrated on the third, the belly. We moved into this pose, which really brings it towards the heart and throat, the fourth and fifth. Move into waterfall pose. You're welcome to float the feet in the air. When you extend the legs up overhead, make sure you're not cutting off the blood flow to the belly. That tends to happen when the legs kind of shoot a little bit more forward towards the chest. So again, you don't have to be extremely active with the feet. You can be fairly passive here. You can even affirm mentally within yourself, new peace, new consciousness now floods into my being. New peace, new consciousness now flood into my being. That's what we're trying to do as we calm the nervous system, to bring ourselves back into balance and in a state of peace. Peace does not mean the absence of war, the absence of noise, necessarily. This is about inviting in some mental peace. If your legs are starting to feel a little fatigued or a little strained, at any point in time, you can lower one down at a time or both at the same. I would rest with the feet on the floor and just notice that after effect. I'm feeling lots of coolness now drain down my calves, shins, and feet and toes. On your next inhale, go ahead and squeeze through the glutes to lift the buttocks up, remove that block and set it off to the side, and then gently roll it down one vertebra at a time. I want to do one more for the heart and the throat. It's a modified fish. So we're going to keep it gentle. We're going to shine the arms up towards the ceiling. The palms face one another. We plug the shoulders into the floor, and then we sink the upper arms to the ground. And as we push the arms into the ground, the shoulders roll and tuck under the body. The cavity of the chest kind of juts up towards the sky. The head ever so slightly bobs back. It shouldn't be extreme. Holding this modified fish. Fish is considered an inversion. So everything that we were trying to kind of trap and flush here at the throat has now opened up and is moving towards those higher tiers of the third eye and the crown of the head. So it's not just about heart and throat. Now gently slide your shoulders nice and broad. Clasp a hold of the knees or shins. Kind of sway and rock and roll gently side to side. And when you're ready, turn over to one side. Press into that top hand and gently rise up. I want us to move into a variation of Sasangasana, the hare pose. And so the first thing we're going to do is just enter it from child's. So if you can sit on your heels, do that. Plug the abdomen in. Roll over your lap and just start off here. If you'd like to have a bolster, that's fine. The bolster can come in between your thighs and you can lay the upper body on top of it, because we're going to start here, but then we're going to move into the deeper inversion. Still gentle. So child's pose is actually considered an inversion because the head's dropping lower than the heart. And we've been slowly manipulating this energy to go higher
into those two top tiers. Right now, we're penetrating the third eye. And this Marma point or acupressure point helps to induce the mental peace that we're striving for. Breathe into both the front and the back side of the body. Noticing how the breath gives the pose life, the body life. Now we'll transfer our hands either beside the knees or slightly in front of the knees. And on the inhale, we're going to lift the hips away from the feet, and we're going to put a little bit more weight in the hands and knees, less weight in the head as we roll across the top of the head towards the crown. And then as we exhale, we pour back down towards the third eye, rocking the hips back towards the heels. So the inhale, we're rocking up, and the exhale, we're rolling down. So there's lots of Marma points and pressure points on the head. I got trained in Indian head massage years ago in Canada. And so I know that rolling in this manner from the third eye to the top of the head is activating some of those Marma points. Now, you can just do that and keep it simple. But you can also grip a hold of your heels. And if that's an easy catch for you, you're going to create a little bit of a calf stretch here in the upper back and come more towards the crown of the head. Jut the hips skyward. Again, less weight on the crown of the head, less crunch in the neck. And the affirmation here, if you want to include it, is, I am master of my energy. I am master of myself. And as you exhale, gently lower down and slowly rise up. And as you rise up, if you want to do a different variation, you can lace your fingers together. Your shoulders can roll back. And then your exhalation will take you down to the crown and will shift the hips to have a little separation from the heels. Again, not very much weight on the head. As you exhale, you can release the hands apart, spill back down to Balasana Child's. So we've been moving everything towards the crown of the head. Place your hands now alongside your body and comfortably rise. So I'm going to give you a choice. You can either lie down in Shavasana. If you lie down in Shavasana, you may have a pillow or a bolster that you may want to prop underneath your spine to keep the heart open. You may want to sit formally in meditation. You can sit in a chair. You can sit with your back against the wall. I'm going to use one of these props to sit up on. Take your time settling in. And we're going to do a meditation that I learned from Thich Nhat Hanh. Find your comfortable position first, and then take a moment to monitor your breath. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Breathing in, I know in fact I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know in fact I am breathing out. Breathing in,
Breathing in, I draw in peace. Breathing out, I give peace. Breathing in, I know in fact I'm receiving peace. Breathing out, I know in fact I am giving peace. Breathing in peace. Breathing out peace. Peace in. Peace out. Now follow the flow of your breath and feel free to repeat any of those affirmative statements that I shared. Maybe there was one or more that resonated with you. Breathing into the now. Breathing out to the new now. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in peace. Breathing out peace. Peace in. Peace out. Joining the hands together to prayer. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let there be peace, 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 and may we be an instrument of that